Welcome to Founders Future, a podcast powered by Closers.io, where we dive into the journeys of innovative entrepreneurs and explore the road ahead of them and their companies. I'm your host, Olivia Sammons, and in each episode we'll uncover the stories behind impactful ventures, the challenges faced along the way, and the strategies driving their future growth. Today, I'm very excited to be joined by Magdalena Shush, certified health coach, executive wellness coach, and founder of Magdalena Wellness, a platform dedicated to helping individuals and organizations build healthier, more energized lives. With over 15 years of experience in health coaching and a background in psychology and conflict resolution, Magdalena works with professionals and corporate teams to reduce stress, improve energy, and build sustainable wellness habits. Through her workshops, coaching programs, and corporate consulting, she helps people move away from burnout and towards healthier lifestyles that support both personal well-being and professional performance. Magdalena, welcome to Founders Future. Thank you so much for joining me here today.
Thank you. I'm excited for this.
As am I, and I'm very much excited to dive in and learn a little bit more about your journey. So, Magdalena, with all of my guests, I do like to start at the beginning. So if you don't mind briefly taking me back to what it was you was doing before you started up Magdalena Wellness, and then from there, what was the motivation behind it?
Yeah, sure. So I was actually, I wouldn't say in the corporate world, but I was in the 9 to 5 world, and I was working with immigrants as a settlement counselor. So I
Okay.
was helping Spanish, Polish, and French-speaking immigrants settle into the city,
Interesting.
apply for permanent resident documents, citizenship, anything that they needed help with. And I did that for 14 years. Mhm.
Wow, I love that. And I suppose obviously from there transitioning may have come a bit of a pivot, but did you always have like a burning ambition to be an entrepreneur even when you was working 9 to 5?
No, but I did start to experience a lot of burnout around the 11th year mark in
Yeah.
my not s- not so much because of the demands, but because I felt like my soul wanted to explore and expand and do something different, and I felt very constricted in the 9 to 5.
Yeah.
Plus, I wanted to exactly pivot my area of expertise, which was away from immigration issues and settlement issues towards health. Yeah.
Amazing. And what, was there anything particularly sparked that interest in health, or had it always been like an underlying factor that you just thought you'd move into one day?
Well, I think like pretty much every single person that gets into the health and wellness world, it was my own health issues that sparked this.
Yeah.
Specifically, I mean, there were actually quite a few different health issues that I dealt with, and I was able to heal them all naturally, which I
Amazing.
didn't intend to. I did go to the doctors initially, but I didn't receive a lot of help from the Western medicine healthcare system, and so I had to find my own way through it. And I came across natural remedies, which ended up literally like curing all the conditions that I was dealing with, and some of them were quite debilitating. Yeah.
Well, that's amazing to hear. Obviously, it worked out well. And I feel like, obviously, as you know, in Western medicine or Western like medical setups, I don't know what the right word is to describe, it's very much like just prescribing to cover up the medication. It's not like getting to that root cause and then finding the issues from there. But as you say, a lot of people do naturally find stuff throughout their own journey they realize they can very much help other people with. So that's a beautiful space to come from and then to move on from there. So let's dive into the wellness aspect a little bit more, just so the listeners can have some context moving forward. So, Magdalena, when it does come to Magdalena Wellness, who would you say like is your ideal client? Like who do you really, really love to work with the most? And then from there, how is it you help them and how would you support them along their own journey?
Sure. So, who I want, because I've been doing this for over 15 years now, who I want to work with is people who have an impact on others. So, this
Mm,
would be thought leaders, CEOs of companies, just somebody who's also training and teaching others so they can pass along what I teach them. Not necessarily that they have to be teaching them specific health and wellness protocols, but when they become healthier, they naturally just know how to lead better. They have more clarity, they make better decisions, they don't feel so burnt out. And so they're able to better hold a team together. And sorry, what was the other question?
so like how does it help them and how do you support them? So what is it basically like to work with
Yeah,
you?
totally. So the main thing I would help them with is, first of all, better learn to deal with stress in a much healthier way.
Mm,
Help them overcome burnout or even prevent burnout. I help people who are into preventative medicine as well. Um, I would help them through a lot of different like energy boosting protocols. So that would include nutrition, movement, very, very simple breathing techniques that like take 15 seconds, some of them actually. I can show you one now if you want to try it. Do
go
you
for
want
it.
to or no?
Yeah, sure.
All right, so here's one like super simple stress relieving technique. So what you would do is you would look into the distance.
Mm-hmm.
Look at me, look somewhere into the distance.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I'm
And
doing
as
that.
you, so when you look into the distance and you don't see anything coming at you, like no tigers, lions, or bears, that instantly signifies to your nervous system that you're safe. So that alone is going to reduce your cortisol levels. And then we're going to take a deep breath through our nose and then sip more air through your mouth into your lungs and hold it and then release it.
Yeah.
Do you feel calmer?
I do actually. I do feel a lot calmer. It reminds me a lot of the breath work. I used to play sports a lot as
Oh,
when I was
yeah.
younger, and it reminds me a lot of the breath work I used to do to actually say just control yourself to bring down the stress level so you can concentrate more. But
Yeah.
naturally, it must help out a lot within corporations, when you are kind of helping out with inside the organizations, just to navigate the stress and the burnout they're going through, but also increase productivity throughout the team as well. Health plays a big aspect that people quite often overlook within the workplace. Naturally, you described your own journey, like even a 9 to 5, you experience burnout, you experience stress, and all that just puts more implications on the organizations you're working for as well.
Well, I know what crazy, there's two crazy statistics. One is that 1 million Americans don't come into work because of stress every single day. So absenteeism is so high due to stress. And then another statistic that's really crazy is 1 in 5 Americans come in sick to work because they don't get enough vacation time or they feel that they have to come into work, but they're sick. So a lot of people are sick with different things, but they're forcing themselves to come to work. So I help people to be healthy and then I help people to be less stressed. So
Beautiful.
reducing absenteeism is a huge thing that I do for companies. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. So essentially then, like, what is it? What's your style, your approach to coaching? Like, what is it actually like to work with you? Like, if I was to onboard you now, the client, are you very much in the trenches with them and walking them through like hand by hand? Like, what is your style?
Yeah, well, for my corporate wellness workshops, I have two different offers. One is where well, first I do a needs assessment for the company because I have over 14 workshops that I offer right now on different topics, ranging from stress management to nutrition to peak performance through entering flow state. So even I do one on suicide prevention right now too. So I'll do a needs assessment first, and then either they will do the core program. So that's 4 different workshops for the entire team. And then any leader in the company gets 3 one-on-one coaching sessions. Then my more premium offer is 5 workshops for the company after I do the needs assessment. And
Amazing.
then the CEO or any leader that they choose in the company that has a lot of influence and impact would do a 6 month program with me. So it could be weekly coaching or bi-weekly, whatever the person chooses, depending on their time. And
Mm.
they get unlimited access to me between the sessions. So it's very hands-on. I really want to make sure that I create a huge impact for the leader so that it can also spread to the company. And then they
Yeah.
get 5 workshops as well for the teams that we choose that are going to be most pertinent to their specific challenges and goals.
Yeah, beautiful. So you're having an impact on the individual, on the company itself, and then obviously, as you mentioned there, that trickle down effect to the team. So just implementing a really great kind of ecosystem and environment within the company, as well as the safety that you're providing to your clients as well, which is a really cool aspect. And what would you say is like that first initial spark or issue that people tend to reach out to you with?
I'd say stress, weight management, actually. I do help people
Oh,
with losing weight. But that, of course, weight management comes with fatigue,
yeah,
pains in their body, inflammation. So, really, even when someone comes to lose weight, I just teach them how to become healthier overall, and then everything changes. Sleep is another huge one.
yeah,
A lot of CEOs suffer from insomnia. Either they can't get to sleep quickly enough or they wake up in the middle of the night and they're just tired. And when you don't sleep properly, the next day is just, it's so hard. It's a blur and your body starts to shut down and it's just hard to maintain
yeah.
energy levels throughout the day.
Yeah, it's so true. And so you're very much providing a full holistic health, helping with anything, as you say, to nutrition, right through to sleep, and then bringing in just outside medicines as well to really incorporate moving forward the sustainability aspects as well, which is a really cool process. One thing I'm very curious to find out, because naturally when you are working with organizations and corporations, they're quite hard to get hold of. So like, how are you going about acquiring your customers? Like what methods or channels are just working very well for you at the moment?
Yeah, so I'd say through connections with other people that work for that organization and they can send my email along to HR.
Nice.
But currently what I'm doing, because I'm really in a state of life where I no longer have all these health challenges that I was dealing with. I feel like I have a lot of energy and a lot of knowledge to share. And I want to spread this and really do this like full on. So I'm
Mm.
actually working with a really amazing guy who has an ads campaign.
Oh,
So
sick.
we're creating an ads campaign. Yeah, and
Beautiful. I
I
love
can
that.
tell you more about him. He works with nomadics. Yeah, I can tell you more about him sometime, but he's been really great and fun to work with so far. Yeah.
Awesome stuff. And are you planning to obviously get that out across social media and just really increase your ecosystem and just get your name out there as well? It's a great way to do
Through
so.
LinkedIn. Yeah, mostly through LinkedIn, I would say. Um, And I also do like free like complimentary lunch and learns as well for smaller organizations or groups that don't have the funds. So
Cool.
and it's like the last week it was, yeah, I did a workshop on burnout for a group of professional women through the Lean In network. I don't know if you've heard of Lean In Canada. You might want to interview them actually. They're a huge network across the world for professional women. Yeah.
Beautiful. Really cool. I'll look into that later. Lean in Canada.
Yeah,
Oh,
Lean
Canada.
In network. They're across the world.
Love
Mhm.
it. Awesome stuff. Appreciate that. So really cool. So you are just, I say, building on yourself, making sure you're getting your voice heard, building on connections, which is a really big thing at the moment.
Yeah.
I feel like very much the trust is needed in the world, so it's nice that you're leaning into that aspect as well. And do you have a
And I
team
wanted
that
to add one more thing when you asked me like about how I work with clients, what it looks
help?
like. I would say it's a very customized approach, very individual. Even to the, again, of how often a person wants coaching. Like if they don't want it every week, then we'll do it less because some people just feel
Yeah.
overwhelmed. There's just so much to do already, and adding another thing to the schedule can feel stressful. So I want to minimize that stress. And I really help them to shift perspective on how they view their problems, even how they view stress, even how they relate to their own thoughts. Like it's very different from what modern psychology and a lot of these other self-help teachings teach.
Yes.
I don't really teach them to change their mind. I actually teach them to observe it and I teach them how it works so that once they understand how their brain works, they can deal with anything at any time without having to do any complicated techniques or, you know, like I really empower them to learn to manage stress on their own. Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful. And as you say, if you are in control of your own mind, even your nervous system, whatever it may be, just being in line with yourself, it does allow you to take those steps and the stress just kind of eases off. And as you say, you naturally just get better at compounding in that every day till you naturally have that remedy for yourself. Um, and also, do you have a team that are helping out at all? Or are you pretty much running the whole show, wearing all the hats yourself as a solo founder?
I'm mostly running the whole show, but my cousin has been helping me with my website. She's really good at it. And then I'm working with Kingsley, who's helping me with the ads, but otherwise it's
Yeah.
just me. Yeah, so so I joke around because I say I left the 9 to 5 job so I can work 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. But I love
I
it. It's
I was
energizing.
going to say, yeah, I feel like when you have that purpose for you, it doesn't matter the hours you're working, you tend to just be able to
Yeah.
get through it and naturally your body will accustom to that. It's more so, as you say, when you was in the burnout phase, when you're stressed, that's when your body just takes in everything and you start to realize you're not enjoying what you're doing. And that will just keep adding on top of that and moving forward from there. Um,
Yeah.
and I suppose, what are your thoughts, what are your ambitions or visions for the company moving forward? You know, like when you maybe think of the next 6 to 12 months, like what are the goals or the targets that you're hopefully looking forward to achieving?
Yeah, working with as many companies as I can handle. Again, I don't want to work with so many that I burn out, but just like really good quality companies that are forward thinking, where the teams and the CEOs are just ready for a change. They might be struggling a lot. That's kind of when I step in, or they just want to optimize and improve performance, but really people who are ready. And I want to work with fun companies. Like I incorporate a lot of humors into my sessions. Even
Nice.
my PowerPoint presentations are riddled with like jokes and funny GIFs and memes because I want to make people laugh. So companies that are like just fun and open and lighthearted
Yeah.
and that don't like one of the key things that I teach people, especially when it comes to stress management, is to not take themselves too seriously and to not take life too seriously. Like that's what causes a lot of disease and a lot of mind stuff, like a lot of depression, anxiety, mental health issues. It's like when people take themselves seriously. So I want to work with companies that are open to a different approach, like a more lighthearted approach, even though it's like corporate, which we think of as serious, but it can be corporate and fun and engaging and life-changing. Yeah.
Could not agree more. And it is about, especially, I'm going to keep coming back to corporate, but especially when you're in the corporate, it's a lot of like worrying over things that you can't actually control. And as you
Yeah.
said yourself, that just kind of sends you on a spiral, and that negative effects you're having in your brain will just continue. So just being lighthearted, not taking things too seriously, and that will also help cut out the overwhelm, which I feel like is a big part when people are thinking about their health, because there's so much noise online at the moment. Like, who do you believe? What do you believe? What is good for yourself?
Yeah.
So just having that clarity that you can provide for them must be a big aspect in that area as well.
Yeah, and I really like to simplify things because, as you said, there's so much conflicting
Yeah.
information out there. And a lot of what we're taught is that we have to do more and, take this supplement, eat this food. But I'm like, no, it's like, I'm just like, stop it all. Let's go back to the basics. And I help people build from the basics and
Yeah.
build a foundation for their health. And then from that, we can stack certain habits, but only if they're not going to cause them any stress. And a lot of the overwhelm happens in the mind. Actually, all overwhelm happens in the mind. It's about thinking about what we should be doing that we're not doing, projecting into the future,
Yeah.
obsessing about the past or regretting the past. But if we're just in the present moment, present to what we're doing that's right in front of us, there's actually no overwhelm. So I really help people to continually come back to the present moment
Yeah.
and to train their minds to stay in the present moment more of the time because our minds always like to go back and forth, but I train them how to stay in present more of the time, and that automatically causes less nervous system dysregulation. It gives them more energy because they're not spending all this mental energy on
Yeah.
thinking too much. It's pretty amazing how simple it can be. Yeah, and I apply all this to myself. Like having dealt with burnout in the past, I can easily slip back into it, but I catch
Mm.
myself. So now, rather than going months, unaware of what's happening, it takes me one day to realize, oh shoot, I'm going into burnout mode, and I reset like within an hour sometimes, or within a day, and then I continue on. So I really understand what it's like to
Yeah.
step into that realm of burnout.
Yeah, exactly that. You know what it's like to walk in their shoes, and you also, it's very much us sitting here saying how easy it is, but it does take a lot of work and a big step for people. So again, it's just so nice that you can give your expertise in that area where you can help them cut through it. And also, like, you seem to be taking everything in your stride at the moment. I suppose that's part of your nature and you're practicing what you preach as well. Self-awareness must be a big part of obviously taking that into consideration. But where are you probably finding the biggest challenge for yourself, like within the business or even taking those next steps for yourself?
The biggest challenge I would say is that it's not just, so this is my main business that I do is the corporate workshops, but I also do one-on-one coaching for
Right.
people outside of that. I also educate people on this like home test they can do to test for inflammation and then a product they can take. I just do a lot of different things. So, and I'm interested in all of it, but I can't do it all at once. So honing in on like three things instead of 5 to 6 at a time is my biggest challenge. I'm doing much better at it. In fact, like now I'm quite good at it, but again, I can see my mind like wanting to jump to new things easily. So just like keeping my mind in check and keeping the focus on what I need to prioritize within my business. That has been the biggest challenge because I want to do it all because I love it all, but then I don't have time in the day to do it all. So prioritizing my
Yeah,
different projects.
I
Yeah.
can completely understand. And also the part of wanting to do it all is because you actually want to help as many people as possible as well. You said it a moment ago, you're like, you want to stretch out and reach those people. So it is just like a center of where can I focus? And then we can take those next steps when they come about and move on from there. We don't need to, Rome wasn't built in a day, I suppose is the saying, right?
Yeah, totally. And I do see like, which is why this is why I'm so excited to get back into the corporate work that I used to do many years ago, is because I can see that's how I can have the most reach
Yeah,
through
okay.
coaching the CEOs and then also through delivering these workshops
Yeah.
to bigger teams all
Yeah.
at once. Yeah.
Yeah, it's that trickle down effect, as you say. You're heading
Yeah.
it's like the main B. So from there, hopefully everyone else can really have that effect within the company as well and just see it moving forward, which is a
Yeah.
beautiful thing. And I have one final question to ask you, Magdalena,
Sure.
before we log out. So if you could go back in time to a younger self and you could only leave yourself with one piece of advice moving forward, something you know now, but that you didn't know back then, what would you say to yourself?
Everything always works out exactly as it's meant to and for your highest good.
Beautiful. I love that a lot. And what a beautiful way to end the podcast. Magdalena, thank you so much for joining me today and for sharing your incredible journey and insight with us. Where can our listeners reach out best to work with you or connect with you if they would like to do so?
They can follow me on LinkedIn, Magdalena Trish, or they can email me info@magdalenawellness.com.
Beautiful stuff. And Magdalena, thank you so much again for joining me. I really appreciate your time today. And to our listeners, if you enjoyed today's episode, please be sure to go and check out Magdalena Shush. As she just said, drop her a message on LinkedIn. I'm sure she would love to hear from everybody. And do not forget to subscribe to Founders Future via wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts.
Thank you.
No, thank you. And if you are a business owner, specifically a coach, consultant, or agency owner, and you're really looking to scale your business and you want to enhance your sales and marketing efforts, visit closes.io to hop on a call with one of our team and discover how we went from $0 to $30 million per year in less than 3 years. But until then, keep on climbing, and we'll see you on the next one.